And the conversation continues.
Oh, hello there. Thanks for dropping in again. Today I'm with Anthony Hoglund, Chairman of the Tourism Committee of the Joint Foreign Chambers of Commerce Thailand. We're at the wonderful Ritz-Carlton Residences, Bangkok at Mahanakorn Tower, and you are watching Trends. Anthony, can you give us an introduction to the Joint Foreign Chambers of Commerce in Thailand, please?
Sure. Well, we actually use the acronym JFCCT also for convenience, but it's the umbrella body for all of the individual foreign chambers of commerce in the country. And we have various advocacy committees. So we like to think of ourselves as the voice of the foreign business community in Thailand. And we've been that way for 47 years.
Right. And you are chair of the Tourism Committee.
Correct, yes. We have advocacy committees, and so we're made up of members and some of the 34 different chambers. They provide members who are involved in the tourism industry, and we are here to advocate on behalf of them and to support the investment in the Thai economy and to act as thought leaders when it comes to overall best business practices, competitiveness, and economic enhancement. Yeah.
In terms of the joint chambers, how are they addressing the big S, sustainability?
I mean, we have a standalone sustainability committee that works on its own and with the other committees like mine. And as far as tourism, sustainability is the future of travel. So yeah, we're quite focused, and our members are quite focused on sustainable tourism when it comes to Thailand here. Yeah.
So sustainability is ultimately going to drive choice of hotel and tourism experience then as we come into the next 5 years?
Well, sustainability now issues are everywhere in the industry, so all the players have to be involved and be thinking about it. What we really need to see is a sustainability mindset from the industry itself. For example, I mean, how sustainable is a breakfast buffet at the hotels in Bangkok? Well, not very, but it's what customers want. Sustainability issues are present everywhere, and here we're really focused on doing what we can as a committee to address those issues. We're working a bit on the STAR initiative, which is the TAT Sustainable Tourism Acceleration Rating. So that's where a property, for example, can rate itself based on different criteria taken from the UN Sustainable Development Goals. We have 500-600 properties here that have signed on to the UNESCO pledge for sustainability, meaning things like single-use plastic need to be eliminated from their property. So these are self-reporting issues, but they're an important step in reaching a sustainable tourism industry here in Thailand.
There's an owner in Thailand of many hotels, and he has thrown the challenge to his hotel group that they have to be carbon net zero by 2050. Do you think that's possible, that a hotel can get to that place? Well,
if you consider that IATA is targeting aviation carbon net zero for 2050, then I think the answer has to be yes. I mean, and there's going to be a necessity to really work towards that target. We're finding in customer surveys and traveler surveys, even last year, 74% of travelers before they take their trip, they want to see options that include their carbon footprint. So they will choose an option that has a lower effect on the environment. 43% so far say they'll spend more money on a trip that has a lower carbon footprint. So look, when we as individuals, we love to travel. It's the best thing we can do. But for our own personal carbon footprint, it has the highest level of effect. So I think, again, for the travel industry to really be sustainable long term, we're all going to be trying to, in the industry, reaching these targets we're setting for 2050, for example. Yeah.
Digital. Now, everyone's talking about disruption. Some people look at it in fear, others embrace it. How is digital impacting and transforming our tourism industry?
Well, it's everywhere, and it's going on without us knowing it, right? So if you look at AI, what's happening these days? AI's been involved in travel for years now, but mainly behind the scenes. We haven't seen it. It's trying to. My company, for example, is a global travel technology company, is using AI to look into solutions around predictions of traveler trends and things of that nature.
But AI will ultimately benefit the traveller because I believe it provides more personalisation. It's data mining your past travel history and apparently will come up with itineraries that are suited to an individual. Am I right on that, or maybe wrong?
Sure, no, that's correct. I mean, personalisation is an objective of the industry. People want to shop like they're shopping at Amazon or something like that. They're used to recommendations based on past behavior. So the industry is quite technically complex, but we're moving closer towards that. And AI, for example, will help that happen more quickly.
And when I worked for a hotel group and then left 7 years ago, we were sitting on this mountain of information, all this guest information, and we couldn't manage it. So AI ultimately will help manage data, which obviously then can have a positive financial impact.
Well, I think the travel providers will use these AI-driven solutions to really enhance the traveler experience. So, for example, we're used to searching, for example, for travel. We might go to an airline.com or a hotel website or an online travel agent and with some specific ideas. But in the future, we may be entering a sentence or a question or even a thought into a chatbot, and we may be getting very specific targeted offers to us based on our personal preferences. Yeah.
You're working here in Bangkok. What brought you to the Thai capital?
Well, I work for Amadeus, which is the leading global travel technology company. We have a regional headquarters here, so I'm the VP and General Counsel for all of Asia Pacific. And we're based here as a regional office due to a long, close relationship with Thai Airways. But we're in every country, so that's what brought me here, based on the fact that I work for my company. I was fortunate enough to move to Spain, where our headquarters are, after a few years in Bangkok. Then we moved with my family to the US, and then we were able in 2019 to come back to Bangkok. And really, for me, it's an exciting place to live, even after these, I think, 9-10 years I've been here. And for our industry, it's really, really exciting because this is the region of growth. It's the region of opportunity. So it's a great time to be based here, and I feel very privileged to be so.
Amadeus has been pivotal within the tourism industry in terms of distribution and also data management. What do you see as the trends over the next 3 years in the tourism industry? Because you're well positioned as Amadeus to have a broad picture. Where are we going in terms of tourism in a 3-year forecast?
Well, I'll focus on Thailand, for example.
Yes.
To go back to sustainability, because it's really everywhere. I mean, in tourism globally, there'll be a real big push, because I think tourism contributes about 8% of global emissions, and aviation approximately 2.5%. So it seems like a very small number, but the problem is it's one of the hardest industries to remediate when it comes to CO2. So we've got a big target ahead of us to have sustainable aviation, even in the long term. So the industry would like to reach a net zero target in 2050, and that will require really advanced technologies like hydrogen and electric at that time. In the meantime, though, we've got to make do with what we have, which is sustainable aviation fuel. It's very expensive, but it works in existing aircraft, so it's going to be a necessary component. Things like that may not be produced in Thailand, so airlines here, such as Thai Airways, for example, might need to buy credits. Credits are controversial because the younger generation simply wants us to stop emitting and not to use trade-offs. So that's a big that's going to be front and center for the industry as we go forward. Here in Thailand, one of the consequences of the pandemic is the staffing issue. So we have hospitality venues here that even now with the recovering demand, can only open 60-70%. Because they just don't have the staff. So this is something the industry is facing globally. We've lost a few of our talented young people because they see something like a pandemic and see how hard it hits this industry, which is probably the worst hit. And therefore, we need to encourage young people to really look at a career in tourism. It's very rewarding, it's very challenging, and it's very fun. So it's something that's an onus on some of us to try to remind the younger generation that it's a very rewarding career. Yeah. Finally, I think the things that the industry is paying attention to now is really, frankly, global conflict. With the war in Ukraine, with the Middle East conflict, with potential conflicts in other places, this is something that affects tourism in specific markets and specific niches. And it's quite important. I mean, here in Thailand, tourism employs over 10 million people, right? It's approximately 18% of the GDP. So if there is a conflict, for example, that might affect arrivals here, it's going to have quite a strong effect on the economy and on people's standard of living. So this is something that we keep a close eye on.
Indeed. Looking at the sustainability as a final point, if I go back 7 years, I think the customer spoke and said price was more of a driving factor than sustainability. So is that changing this year? Is the consumer prepared to pay a bit more and pay off their conscience with a sustainable holiday? Because sustainability always has come generally with a higher price tag. There are hotels who greenwash, and there's hotels that give a true commitment to sustainability. But is the demand there, and are consumers prepared to pay a little bit extra, knowing that they are environmentally friendly tours and travel?
Well, I think so far the jury's out on that. I think last year we've seen studies that show that 43%, I believe, of travelers are interested, say they're interested in paying more or would pay more for a more sustainable trip. Now, we also see that when it's time to pay, that number isn't necessarily as high. Yes. So I think, but this is the trend, right? I mean, and we see when you mention greenwashing, sure, this is something we'll be living with for a while. But for me, I think given the digital age we're in, it has a reputational risk, and frankly, we need everyone to be doing everything they can. So when it comes to competitive advantage, for example, I mean, hotels, properties will want to be making the UNESCO pledge. They'll want to be making the local star pledge for the Tourism Authority of Thailand. And why? Because they want to advertise that, and they'll want to draw customers who are more and more concerned about their carbon footprint.
Anthony, thanks so much for coming in today and sharing with us updates on the Joint Chamber of Commerce in Thailand and also Amadeus.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching this latest episode of Trends. If you like the conversation, please like and subscribe, and see you next Friday.